Hey everybody, it's James again with a new video today. We're going to discuss something that I guess is probably unpopular, but maybe it's not. The Rough Rider knives, which are Chinese knives, they're cheap knives. Um, some people love them, some people just stay away from them. They don't want anything to do with them. And I'm not really a collector of these knives, but I found this one particular in a picture online on a forum, and in a series of knives kind of like this. There was like five of them. It was like case, K-bar, slip joints, of course, case, K-bar, GEC, and then this one was on the end. And I'm like, what is that? And I thought it was a GEC at first. And I asked the guy, and he said it's a Rough Rider. And I was like, oh, huh. And I'm kind of embarrassed because I'm like, out of all the nice knives, I asked about the one that's probably less than $9, you know. Um, but it was a Rough Rider, and I thought to myself, wow, that's a nice looking knife for a Rough Rider, you know. And these things are not, they're not show quality knives. But I told my girlfriend, I said, hey, keep your eyes on this because this line is discontinued. I seen that I had an acorn on there, which kind of that's what really kind of made me think it was a GEC. And I looked it up and found out, after he told me it was Rough Rider, I looked it up with the acorn on it, and it was the Outdoorsman series. And I believe this is called Tobacco Bone. And so she kind of looked it up, she's a good girlfriend, so she got me this one here. And she gave it to me, even though it's slightly different. They are all slightly different. That's another thing about Rough Riders. Quality control is different than it's not very standard. Um, and I asked her how much she paid for this, and I think she said she paid $11 on eBay. Um, and this is like a half hawk bill, so it's like a straight blade. This is a 440, I think it is. I think it says here. Let's see, 440, 440 stainless steel. Okay, there it is. 440 razor sharp steel. So I got this, and I was like, wow, this is nice. And how much did you pay for it? Like $12, $11. Um, Shipped, by the way. And I'm like, for that kind of money, this is actually not bad. I noticed this, and I thought right away, boy, if this was a case knife, this would be going right back. This was a GEC knife, this would be going right back. But it's a cheap Chinese knife that otherwise looks pretty good. I've seen case knives, honestly, that have worse fit and finish than this knife. I have seen it. I've seen queen knives that makes this look like a custom. Okay, so just to let you know, I'm like, and she see me see this, and she goes, "Do you want me to send it back?" Knowing how picky I am, and I'm like, "How much you pay for this? No, this is cool. I'm down. What's the point? I mean, this knife literally, if you paid shipping for it twice, it's worth the shipping would be worth more than a knife." So anyway, this made me think. This knife did. I thought, this is a $11 Chinese knife, and it's never ever going to be worth anything. Um, what's the rest of them like? I'm set off the. I'm trying to find this one. I think this was cool. So, my girlfriend, after finding out that I really like this one, she went out and got me this one too, which I believe was $10 or $9. And this is a trapper, and it's in the same series, Rough Rider Outdoorsman series, and I love it. And this trapper, I mean, it's almost, I mean, it's comparable to a case in quality. It's not comparable to a queen. Well, it's not comparable to a GEC. It's not comparable to an older queen or Shad Morgan, really. But like everything's straight. The springs are flush closed. I don't. They're flushed. They're flush open. They're not perfect knives though. They're not. They're not show knives, but they're decent for the money you pay. Like I said, I don't collect these knives, But this is where I've always been told, don't buy these cheap knives. They're never worth anything, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I bought a house and I had to rip up a bunch of carpet. I forgot to take a knife except for, I think it was this, I think it was this one. And this one I found at a local knife store. And I'm like, that's the one I want. And so anyway, turns out I didn't know it, but it had pliers in it, and they're actually beefy. They're not. I mean, look at that. They're pretty beefy. I had this in my pocket, and this knife cut lots of carpet. And I was like, screw it if I ruin it. I paid like $8 or $9 for this knife. Who cares? It even had a little screwdriver. It's like a utility knife almost, flathead. And I used this knife all night long, all night long. And I did not care one bit if I broke it, not one bit. So literally, I used the pliers to pull not studs, but the little things that go into the wall, like anchors, metal anchors. I pulled them out of the wall. I used the knife to cut carpet. And when I got done working at the end of the day, I went home and thinking this knife will be impossible to sharpen, and I sharpened it. 440 steel, stainless, and I thought it was going to be impossible. It sharpened. So my opinion has changed. I just bought them because they were pretty, and the fit and finish truly is not bad. I mean, you see the gaps between the liners and the springs. I would not, if I paid $100 for this knife, I would, nope, no way. But I think I paid $9 for this one. I'm going to let that pass. Now, do I advise everybody start collecting these Rough Riders? It's up to you. You see one that you like, check it out. And don't feel bad about buying it. That's what I say. Collecting is all personal preference. If you're buying these to be an investment in the future, you're wasting your money. If you're buying these because you might go to a house and do a bunch of work, and if you destroy a knife, and you're not going to cry about it if you use this one, then this was a great tool. This is a wonderful tool. I used this a lot when remodeling. Well, yeah, bought a new house and basically remodeled it before I moved into it. So Rough Riders are great. If somebody like a lot of times when I asked about these, like, are these any good? People are like, nah, they're junk. Stay away from them. They're not junk. If you're somebody who is wanting to get into the whole knife collecting thing, collecting slip joints, Rough Riders is a good place to start because you're not going to spend a lot of money. You're going to get a knife that honestly is just under case quality. And if you can hand pick them, you can get one that's equal to case quality knife. And I'm not kidding about that. Like this one does not have any. It looks like there's gaps. There's really not much. I could show you a case that has bigger gaps than that. Centering is not bad. So don't discourage anybody for wanting to buy a Rough Rider knife. I mean, I'm not going to sell them. Definitely I wouldn't sell them. Mainly because I don't know. They sell for $9. And I'm not going to make any money off of it. And it's a bunch of inventory, and I have no idea what it's like to buy stuff from China. Don't do that. So I'm not going to sell them, but people do. And if you're going to buy it to use it, awesome. It's a great knife to use. Literally a great knife to use. If you're starting off in the slip joint collecting, knife collecting at all, or anything like that, you see this, you like it, you buy it. Don't let somebody talk you out of not buying this knife because it's not a case, it's not a GEC, it's not a Queen, it's not a Boker, it's not a, a Sheffield. It's not, it's not a great knife. Actually, it is a great knife. It's a tool. And if you want to collect it, you can collect it. They'll never be worth any more than what you pay, as far as I'm aware. But, hey, you can't go wrong. It's a cheap knife, and people overlook them. And I'm not saying, like, everybody go out and buy these. No, don't do that. I'm just, hey, if you see one you like, get one. and you might be surprised. Carry it, and you might change your opinion on it, because that's kind of what happened to me. I wouldn't look twice at these knives. And the Barlows that they make, I think, are ugly, and I would never even buy one of those. But if you think it's a nice looking Barlow, get it. Yeah, so I figured I'd just make this video. I don't know if there's any rough. I didn't search any of YouTube to see if there was actually any videos about Rough Riders. But hey, if you're thinking about getting a Rough Rider, if you can't inspect it, write in a little comment box. Can you inspect this before shipping it to me? Or if you're at a store, just do the inspections. You know, check the gaps, check the walk and talk, and not really any walk and talk. It's smooth. Just do your basic knife inspection, and honestly, you'll get one that's equal to a case. I've seen better than Bokers. Well, some Bokers are even made in China now, so probably in the same factory as these. Also, if you're trying to like make slip joints, a lot of people who start off making knives, they will buy a pattern, cheap Rough Rider, take it apart, trace it, learn how to make a knife out of it. Take them apart by basically you would put a razor blade between here and hammer the razor blade through. That would break the pin in the middle, and you could take the knife apart. You can make yourself a pattern out of this. And so instead of taking your case or a buck apart, you would take apart a $9 knife, and you wouldn't be hurt. So this one even has half stops, which is pretty. It's nice. Yeah, half stops both blades. Can't beat that. Can you believe that? That sounds good, don't it? And this was I think the most expensive at like maybe $12. I'm not sure. My girlfriend bought it. But this one, it's the only one with a flaw. It's a little chipped bone. If you want it, if you're in a store and you've seen that and you're like, I don't like that, pick the next one. But I'm not going to complain. This one, you see gaps in the liners. This is stuff that I look for when I don't buy case knives. But on these, I'm not really complaining about it. These pliers, they're actually beefy. I like I said, I use these. I put them over the little flat thing against the drywall and hold them down and pull them out. It worked. This knife saved me from having to drive another 40 minutes back home to grab tools that I forgot to get. The strapper, I don't even think I used it. But these things are sharp, and I've sharpened this one, and I believe I've used this one too. And they all sharpen very well for what they are. So basically, not glorifying the brand. I still think people should buy American, and I do. But if you see one of these you like, don't have anybody tell you not to buy it. Go ahead and get it because it's cheap. Enjoy it, use it, break it, lose it. You're not going to cry about it. Here's the only knife. Let's see here. Da-da-da. And so that's my video about Rough Riders. It's probably going to be the only video about Rough Riders. If you have any questions about Rough Riders, contact Rough Rider. So, but yeah, these things are nice. If you just like I said, some things that are cheap are worth the money. And these are the only 3 that I own. I don't collect them. I thought they were cool. I like this particular tobacco bone outdoorsman series style. But anyway, that's my that's my video about these knives. And hey, if you like this video, like, subscribe, hit the bell button so you'll be notified when I get new videos coming out. And thanks for all the subs lately, and shout outs and the comments. Happy to have you all with me, and hopefully I can make some half decent quality content for you guys to absorb, and maybe I can educate somebody, and maybe you guys could educate me on some things too. So anyway, have fun. Bye.